everyone, and welcome back to the Mommy Milestones Handyman Hour. Do you recognize this window behind me? That's right, I get to repair this broken window a second time. If you might remember from watching the channel previously, I got to repaint this window just at the beginning of winter, maybe November. Had to get it done, realized that, well, it was missing the inner window. It only had the storm window. So I'm at home washing my car today, and I get several calls from unavailable numbers, and then several calls from my in-laws. Their office is across the road. Get a call that the local gas station owner heard some window breaking, and he came over to find out what was going on. So he called the police, and he called us. Was somebody trying to get in? You see we got some broken windows here. Never, ever do I like windows on entry doors. I think it's ridiculous and unsafe. The other thing is landscaping stones. Do you know what landscaping stones are? Keys. They are ammunition for children. So this one had 3 broken panes, 2 storm windows and the lower window. And then the lower bathroom window, 3 panes. Out of sheer luck, I have a porcelain sink that did not get broken. I could go and buy a bunch of plywood and board this up. Well, sheet of plywood's $67. I got one more panel here. Called the local hardware store about cutting my glass, called in the measurements. So far, $37, not including these 3. So I got a box full of glass, and I'm getting into reglazing. So real simple, you just need some caulk, a caulking gun. I choose the silicone over latex anytime I can. Just real simple glazing points. They're also called glazier's points. You need a couple different utility tools to scrape out any old caulking. So I've got a little point right there still. I could probably grab that with some needle nose pliers and pull that out. And I missed a little bit of glass up there, so I'll pull that out. Safety first, wear gloves. We're gonna shop back out anything else that we can, go back and recaulk where we need to. So I'll have to skip on the storm windows for now because they don't have any kind of wood edging. I'm gonna have to, I think, disassemble the storm windows to get that out. But just so you know, your landscaping rocks are ammunition, and your entry door is your weakest point for bored little kids in the neighborhood. Fortunately for us, the house was vacant. They didn't cause any damage other than the glass. They got really lucky with that bathroom sink being there. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up a little bit and get my glass in. So this is just a simple window trim, very similar to quarter round, but it's got a decorative edge. You could just use quarter round with it. I have one broken piece here at the bottom. I can glaze it in for the night with the glazing points and come back with some quarter round. I might have some of this at another one of the houses because I don't want a patched glued piece. This is the one that was there, and they managed to shatter that. You know, this house is getting ready for a repaint, so there's no point in trying to glue that and patch it. Now I've got a little trouble here. Most of the glass, you can see, is coming out pretty easily, but this piece does not. I have to take this section of quarter round out and treat it like the other windows using this groove up at the top. The last window that I put in, the cutter didn't cut great. She was a little small on it, so I really had to line those glazing points up very well. And you got to be real specific with your measurements because of it going up into that crease up there. Now I did find on each of the windows, originally they used a diamond shaped glazing point instead of this flat edge, and the flat edge makes it easier for a homeowner to drive that in. So they just go in real easy. And this wood is just a pine hardwood type material. I get it as close to that glass as I can without damaging it, and then the caulk will cover that over. The caulk will make up some difference in some sizing, and you don't want to cut the glass so that it fits exactly against the wood on any of the sides because of expansion. It's real hot and humid. This is probably as expanded as it's going to be, so as it shrinks down, with the silicone caulk, I like that it will give it that give, but this one is now buttoned up and just needs the caulk. This one is all set now and just needs the caulk, and you can use as many or as little of these as you want. I did find like their glazing point up there, they go in really hard to reuse. There was another one there because there's no good edge, and you don't want a single pane glass, you know, turn around and break that again. So I'm gonna be able to caulk these, and for now I'll just put in the window screens to be able to finish on these storm windows, because these storm windows are going to have to actually be busted apart and re-glued together with that. There's nothing there at all, but they did a great job. And the surprising thing is, the son of the guy was just riding his bike out on the road. A good grounding in your room would be the first thing I'd be going for. So we'll get that quarter round out of here. And you know, it kind of varies whether you work on the inside or the outside of the house. Everything's swollen up. This was already broke off and on the inside, so I think we've had to replace this once before. If you are painted in, you're going to want to cut your paint right on the edge. I know this is really hard with the lighting. Use your knife and cut along that edge to separate it with your knife. I already have this one loosened up, and I've got a couple different pry bars here. These are baseboard pry bars, and that will help to try to get this off. This one's got a little bit of a lip on it, which is really good for all kinds of baseboard removal and quarter round. So I'm gonna put you down and get this out. I'm wearing gloves, you can see, but you gotta be careful of points like that. Sometimes it's good to wrap it in a towel and knock it out instead of trying to work with a large piece, because you don't want to cut your arms. So temporary for right now, I'm just going to use the glazing points here on the bottom. They have like a putty type window glazing in the crease here on the edge, which is good for winterizing and winterproofing. You can put that in to help with your glass. I think that is just what they had before liquid caulks. And we'll go. Well, everyone, it was some hot, sweaty work. That silicone was such a mess to work with in the heat. It was like 90, 95 degrees, and it's been so humid every day since. I was able to come back and do a little bit of touch up on it. I'm still working on the storm windows that are supposed to go here and on this window, because you can see I've got some siding and trim issues missing. My only issue that I kind of had was using the wrong size of trim here. This is just a little bit loose, but I can put a couple of those points back there and just kind of shim it up and make it tight, because that door is sticking right now because it's an old wood door and it just rattles a little bit when we're going in. Or I can just put a little bit of caulk around it and put that trim piece back on it, and it'll be a little better weatherproofing. But all in all, it was worth it. I got the screen material to do the screens for the basement and the storm windows for that yet to do. But overall, it's all buttoned up, and I just couldn't believe it. I actually got the money from the neighbor whose kids smashed it. So that was a huge plus in the end too. So it was too bad that they did it and that I ended up being here for a day or two working on it. But you know what? What's done is done. Hopefully everybody got a good lesson out of it, and it'll build some relationships hopefully in the community by not letting any police reports happen. So think of that whenever something like this happens. And you know, sometimes it takes a helping hand. One jerk move could really mess up a future for a little kid like that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.